by the Finance Minister. Before I proceed further, I want to read a rule from the rules book 216. It says the debate on the supplementary grants shall be confined to the items constituting the same, and no discussion may be raised on the original grants nor policy underlying them, save in so far as it may be necessary to explain or illustrate the particular items under discussion. From Anand Kumar ji, I have heard several speeches. Nobody has referred to the supplementary grants on which permission of the House is sought. Discussion has been generally on the economy.
Now, you would have raised at that time. You would have raised at that time. There is no point in raising. You would have raised at the time when he was speaking. At the time, you would have raised.
I did not want to disturb anyone.
That is over. That you.
Sir, no, but I just want to point out that in this House, neither the chair is insisting on following the rule, nor are we following the rule.
No, don't put aspersion on the chair. That is, chair knows how to run the House. Therefore, don't put the chair.
The chair, sir, chair is not above the rules.
No, that is correct.
The rules have to be implemented by the... You have been deputy speaker, sir. You know that the chair should implement and say that keep to the supplementary demands.
Don't put aspersion on the chair. Chair knows how to run the House. Any member raises at that time, he will or he, she.
No, why should I disturb a member?
No, that you continue.
I should point out that the chair.
There is no point in raising now. There is no point in raising that matter. Please. So proceed.
216, sir. Point of order is under 216.
Whatever you want.
I am not speaking out of the air. Sir, now, since the chair has shown leniency in the matter of applying the rules, I shall take advantage of the same and say a few points. My first point is with regard to West Bengal. The present government in West Bengal, which came to power in 2011, inherited a total outstanding debt of 2,03,000 crores left by the previous government. The previous government had brought in the FRBM, the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, very late. And it led the central led the state government borrow and borrow and borrow. Now, the new government is bearing the burden of 2,03,000 crores of debt, for which it has to pay almost 20,000 crores in interest and principal. The state government, all of us from TMC, has been raising the demand that give us a moratorium on interest payment for 3 years. We made it to the previous finance minister. We are making it again to the present finance minister that for political reasons you tweak the law, the norms, to give Bihar a special grant. We have no quarrel with that. Tweak the law again or the norms again to give West Bengal this moratorium which we have been seeking for a long time. So this is the first point. Give economic justice, fiscal justice to West Bengal. The finance minister is not here, but I'm sure he will be listening to this debate somewhere. So I hope that he will respond to my demand. The second point I want to make, that this is not a very big supplementary demand. The total demand is only to the tune of 7,497 crores. And the actual outgo to the exchequer is only rupees 127 crores. The rest will be matched by savings of ministries, departments, or by enhanced receipts recoveries. So it's actually the supplementary demand is only for an outgo of rupees 127 crores. This is not very big, so nobody can object government has to run. But the main thing to notice is that the finance minister has taken maximum amount of this money for his own ministry, and that is to fulfill his promises made in the budget. He should have kept the provisions in the budget. He did not. He is now asking for supplementary. I'll just mention, sir, for setting up, please listen, for setting up Nirbhaya Fund, And for National Skill Development Corporation, he is asking for 2,000 crores. For payment to IMF and provision of loans to IMF, he is asking for 1830 crores. We will soon have to go to IMF for loans. And we are giving IMF rupees 1830 crores from our supplementary demand. The second is, he is spending 100 crores for equity in microfinance institutions, setting up a credit guarantee fund, rupees 500 crores, and establishing a women's bank, rupees 1100 crores. So Finance Minister, whatever he announced, he did not make provisions in the budget. Now he is coming and asking for budgetary money. But he has the right to do that because he has saved most of this money and he is asking for this demand. Sir, having said that this is a minor supplementary demand, let me say a few points on the economy. The Finance Minister, along with the supplementary demand, presented a medium-term expenditure framework statement laid before Parliament as required under the FRBM Act. There, he has mentioned that the budget 2013-14 was made on the assumption that there will be GDP growth in the range of 6.1 to 6.7% of GDP. Now what is the position? It is being estimated that this year the growth will be as low as 4.2%. So the basic premise of the Finance Minister in his budget, as shown in his own report, is broken. There is no growth as expected, and this means there will be less employment, there will be less development, etc., etc. The economic situation, we have mentioned several times in the House, sir, even you have raised, is very serious. Every day I look at the news that what is the situation today. I just read. Sensex up by 488 points, rupee gains 138 paise to 65.69 against dollar in early trade. There has been improvement. Why? Because yesterday a new Reserve Bank governor has been appointed. He has said that he will give emphasis on reviving growth rather than controlling inflation. He has said that henceforth Reserve Bank permission will not be needed to open new branches. He has said that he will try to improve the rupee. Now, our new RBI governor is a favorite with the Americans. He was a professor in Chicago University School of Business. Now, there are two things that I want to mention. That he was a distinguished professor, very distinguished academic, our new RBI governor. But this same Chicago University has the reputation of advising the American government wrongly, so that which led to the 2008 crisis in America. And one, Dr. Raghuram Rajan, yes, he was a distinguished professor and he was one of those who advised the American government which led to the crisis in 2008. This is a matter of record. Again, I want to mention that, sir, I'm be making the ministry. He keeps news of what happens. But I'm again referring to a fact. I did not refer to the new RBI governor by name. I said he was a distinguished professor at the School of Business in Chicago University. The same Chicago University group advised the American government, and that led to the crisis in America in 2008. I did not say that Raghuram Rajan advised. And I am within my rights to say that. Sir, again let us see what else news is there.
Not news, let you tell
again
what
news
please.
Is, sir, please read. Listen.
No. Now I'm joined there. Please, please.
He is disturbing Mr. Roy Sitting.
No.
He is disturbing Mr. Roy Sitting.
Please, order, please, order. You continue, Roy,
Sir,
please.
I am getting the point.
No, you continue, please. Continue.
Now, yesterday, the RBI governor has announced measures to strengthen monetary policies and to open new bank branches. I'm again saying, sir, the economy is in shambles. The economy is in a mess, and the promised fiscal deficit of 4.8% will not be kept. And the promised current account deficit of 4.9% will not be kept. The rupee is in free fall, and people are predicting. Sir, please, let me go speak a little. Sir, I seek your indulgence. I have not completed. And this, due to this free fall, rupee is expected to reach 72 rupees per dollar in a few days. And where will the people go? Now, sir, I just mentioned the few points and then wind up. Give me 2 minutes. The government is sending confusing signals on the economy. On the one hand, they are saying that we will open up all sectors to FDI. The FDI inflow will reduce the current account deficit. They are saying we are removing, Mr. Chidambaram said in this house on that day, that we are removing all controls. The answer to present economic mess is not less reforms, but more reforms. Yesterday he has passed a bill for pension reforms. Tomorrow is slated to pass a bill on SEBI reforms. So on the one hand, you are showing that you want total freedom for corporates, for foreign corporates to come into India. Now, what the corporates are saying about the government, just the reverse. The same government speaking in two voices, sir. You must listen to this, very interesting. They want to attract the corporates, but corporates, including Ratan Tata, including Rahul Bajaj, they are saying that food subsidy bill will add to your deficit. So, to your fiscal deficit. So, which line are you following? On the one hand, you are giving all licenses to corporates and FDI. Now, after the food security bill, we are very interested about what ratings we receive in America. What have Moody's said? Moody's, the biggest financial rating companies, has given a statement saying that this food security bill will add to the fiscal deficit. So what are you trying to achieve? More growth, less inflation, or election-oriented, subsidy-oriented projects? That is not. Growth has become stunted, and as early as August 30, food bill will worsen economic woes, says Moody. Measures will raise government spending on food subsidies to 1.2% of GDP per year from estimated 0.8% currently. So which side is the government on? What do they want to achieve? What did CII president say? Such a large outlay at this point of time would definitely have a negative impact on the fiscal deficit. So the whole corporate India is against your steps, and you are trying to make them happy. Now what is happening, sir? Last year, how did Mr. Chidambaram contain the fiscal deficit? He cut plan expenditure by 93,000 crore. You will agree that in a developing country, in a poor country, basically to develop the economy, you have to increase plan expenditure, which will mean more roads, more schools, more colleges, more infrastructural projects. They are cutting plan expenditure and saying that our fiscal deficit should be controlled. And as a result, sir, the whole country is in a genuine crisis, sir. I do not know when this crisis will blow over, but I may say that I am receiving only confusing signals from the government. Why prices rise? Onion price goes to the roof.
Yeah,
Gas price is raised. Sir, diesel price is
Karunakaran,
raised.
please.
Cooking gas will be raised by 50 rupees. Aviation turbine fuel will be raised. What are you aiming at? The government must state clearly.
right.
Mr. Chidambaram has not fulfilled. And you know the economy grew at its lowest pace in 4 years at 4.4% in the first quarter of this year.
Mr. Karunakaran, please.
So this is the situation, sir.
Okay.
I think the government is in an economic mess and it has
Okay.
no policy to come out of the mess.
Right.
So
Thank you.
I
Thank
say
you.
that this supplementary budget is chicken feed. 14 lakh
Okay.
crores is your total expenditure. This is only for 7,400
Karunakaran,
crores.
Karunakaran.
But it will have no impact on the economy of the poor.
Okay, right. Mr. Karunakaran.
Chicken feed is small amount.
Small
Chicken
amount.
is little.
Mr. Karunakaran, you have to...